Hello everyone. We are here with the Red Rocket today because I'm going to try to get the steering system finished. If you saw my last video, I've already got the steering column mounted, and I've already worked on part of the steering shaft. I just got to figure out a couple more things. So let's see what I've done already and what I got to do next. Alright, well here is the steering column. I did get another mount for the bottom, so it's now solid. The only wiggle is up here at the wheel. It's the support is wobbling a little bit because I only have it tacked in place for now. And the steering shaft, because of how tight this is and where I had to mount everything, I've got one joint up here, I've got a double joint here, and then another joint down there. Now currently, I believe that shaft right there is currently a little too long, so I need to cut that short to suck that in, and hopefully it doesn't get it at too much of an angle so it doesn't mess up down there. But I may have to move this down there and have just do the same thing I did like up here, just have this down there, and then just work on it. But I'm gonna mess around and see what I can do, and once I figure stuff out, I have these brackets made that I will be welding to the frame right about there or wherever I need to. So I got two. I got one up here, and I'm gonna have another one down there. So the steering shaft will be supported in two places. So should be good. So get out the sun. There he is. So should be good. So let's figure this out, tack it in place, and test it. All right, I think I got the steering shaft how I want it. I'm gonna weld this one on right there roughly somewhere, and I got another one down there that I'm gonna have welded on kind of at an angle down here. But I think that's all. It looks all okay. Just need to tack everything together and jack up the front and see what happens. This is the little bit that I had to cut off of the shaft, so everything's looking okay. I just need to get the welder out, tack those supports in, and see what happens. Hopefully I don't have any binding in any of these joints. That's one reason why I got that double joint, because if I didn't, I think I would have definitely had some binding. So now it's kind of going down, over, and then over again. So kind of relieving some of the angles off of those joints. So let's see what happens. Let's get the welder out, tack it in. Well, it started to rain, but I was able to get my welds finished and everything's good. I tightened up all the joints down there, and I have steering. And the only real noise I have is that lower heim joint right there. It's kind of worn out. It was on the 8 3/4 when I picked it up, and so I didn't have to buy one to get my steering together. I just went ahead and used that used one. I do need to fine-tune the position of everything, because in the rush to try to get it back together while the rain was going, I don't have it perfect like I did before. I had to take it back loose a little bit to do some of the welds, but it's together. I've got it jacked up right now. I'm going to lower it back down and see about actually turning it with it on the ground. So let's go ahead and do that and see what happens. Well, I've with it on the ground, I can turn it all the way left and right, but the steering shaft is that specifically that double joint I got is kind of flexing in ways that it's not flexing, it's torquing in ways I don't want it to torque. So I may have to revisit that later, but For a first draft to have actual steering, it's gonna work okay, but I definitely will have to revisit that later. It looks like it's gonna be another short video because I was planning on welding on some supports for the bed to actually have structure on the bed again, but it's supposed to be raining all day, and I'm probably not going to feel like doing anything tomorrow, so that's pretty much going to be the end of the video. It's kind of stupid rain. I was rushed to stop, but I accomplished what I wanted to this weekend, which is to finish the steering, even though I may have to revisit it, but there it is. Kind of a bummer. I was wanting to work on it some more, but what are you gonna do? Well, I was gonna leave the video right there, but I could not leave well enough alone, and I have another configuration that I'm gonna be trying. I think the weather's supposed to be clear tomorrow, so it's supposed to be off and on raining the rest of the day pretty much, at least while I have daylight. So can't really do any more welding today, because I'm going to have to reposition the lower support, and because I was rushing, I wasn't paying attention, and I actually was able to break it off with a crescent wrench, so I didn't have good enough penetration. I didn't really have a lot of weld right there either, so that was the last one I was trying to do before the rain was hitting and while it was coming down. So the other ones look okay. They look solid, good weld everywhere. But let me show you what I've done. All right, I have moved the double joint up here, and I put the single joint down here just off of the joint that's on the Vega box. And I actually took the double joint apart and made the Vega box joint a double joint to see if that would work. It did not work, so I put everything back the way it was, and I think this is going to work. Steering shaft should be about like that, and I think that's going to work. So fingers crossed that once I get that other support on, that everything will be okay. So let's wait for tomorrow for the rain to dry up, and no more rain, and I'll get back to welding on this thing. So we'll see y'all tomorrow. Well, it is the next day, and I am pretty sure I've got this how I want it now, so let's check it out. All right, I've got it how I set it up yesterday. I've got the double joint up here, and a single joint, and then another single joint down at the box, and I've got that bottom bracket welded back on where I need it. This one technically probably needs to go down a tiny bit, but I'm going to work with it like it is. It'll be okay. And I've had this jacked up. Let me zoom in. I've had this jacked up, turning, and it does not flex. It does not torque in ways I don't want it to torque. And I've had it on the ground doing it before I fully welded it in, and it's not flexing at all. The only flex I am getting, is a little bit of body roll whenever I'm turning it hard and trying to get it to turn all the way one way. So that, I don't know if there's any way to stop that, but I'm pretty much okay with that. And steering is, I'm gonna call it done. I'm very excited about it, very excited. Well, there we have it. The steering is, I'm gonna call it done on the Red Rocket. Really excited to finally have at least one system completely done. Now the front suspension, don't have everything fully welded yet because we wanted to make sure everything was good before it was fully welded. So steering system done. I may look into seeing if there's a way for me to install a sway bar to kind of stop that body roll a little bit. But aside from that, I think it's really good progress. So If you liked the video, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.